Giggles podcast. Yeah.
Ooh, spirit fingers.
Yeah, it's spicing it up a little bit. All right, we are back again. A little bit late today, but we are back with another episode, and we're going to get straight into it. Today's episode, we're talking about the importance of routines, whether they are important or not. So we have slightly conflicting methodologies, similar views, but slightly different. So I'm going to throw it over to Jono. And pretty much whether he finds daily routine, important or not.
Yeah, thanks, man. I know, this hurts to say, I know that routines are important. I hate admitting or accepting that they are important. And the reason is because I don't want to grow up ever. But I understand being a successful adult means that you have routines, means that you have things that you do daily at certain times, and it's boring and it can seem like Groundhog Day, but routine, discipline, consistency breeds success. And I hate it because I just want to be a child. I just want to be like, you know what? Stuff it. I'm just going to go outside and play with the kids and everything like that. But then I'm like, now I'm guilty because I have things that I should be doing.
See, I find that discipline creates freedom. So the more disciplined that you can be with something like a routine, that it creates, long term, it creates the freedom for you to do whatever you want to do. So if you, on a day-to-day basis, get up and be like, I'm going to do X, Y, Z for my relationship, my business, my fitness, whatever it might be, then long term, those things are going to be way better off. And that's going to, in turn, give you time to do other stuff because you're not having to then fix a problem, have to work excess to fix a problem because you've neglected it. Take fitness, for example. If you consistently go to the gym day in, day out, then you can be really, really intense in an hour, knock that out, done. There's your fitness done, and you're way better off in 6 months than if you get to a point where you didn't do anything for 6 months and then you have to work harder to get the same results. It's kind of like that discipline creates freedom in the long term. I don't know if I explained that very well.
No, I think that's very good. I think that's very Jocko Willink of you. He talks about that. He has a book called Discipline Equals Freedom.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who? God.
Sounds like a smart dude.
Well, from what I've seen now on your Instagram, we have very different feeds, and he is on my feed.
Yeah.
So Jocko Willink talks about Discipline Equals Freedom. It's one of his books. It's actually one of the hardest books I've had to read because it was boring at the start, but it's like a child's book. It's 2 sentences per page.
Perfect.
It's super easy.
How have I not read it yet?
Yeah. Because you're not a child. You're an old man. He talks about, if you want to be more financially free, be disciplined with your budget. If you want to be healthier, be disciplined with your gym or health routine. If you want to get better sleep or be more alert during the day, be disciplined with the amount of sleep and the quality of your sleep. So it's right. Discipline does equal freedom. And a child doesn't see that because they only know instant gratification, which is fun, right? That's why people drink and do drugs and do dumb stuff.
That's why we're still children. Because we want instant gratification.
I don't want to wait for the microwave to heat up my macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
God. But so that's pretty cool. I do think, however, this is actually probably good timing that we're bringing this up because, and we're talking about fitness, in routines within fitness, that in Australia we're going into spring, 2nd, 3rd, 4th day of spring.
Oh, it is too.
It is. There you go.
Well, been locked inside the house for so long.
Yeah.
Don't know when it is.
Just so everyone knows.
What's today?
KPow's on house arrest.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's not been very disciplined.
I have no, what's the word? Independence.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm in a leg brace. I can't show you, but I can't drive anywhere, so I'm stuck at home all the time. Gone crazy.
It's probably better for the roads. But we're in spring. It's a good time to kind of start setting in these routines for consistency to set you up to get your summer body or whatever you want, whatever motivates you.
Summer shred.
The amount of people that should be getting into their routines now, specifically when it comes to health and fitness and even aesthetics, is ridiculous, because all of you that are listening, all millions of you got to get into your routines now, because it'll set you up for the summer anyway.
I feel like it also snowballs if you are, even if you're not just looking at fitness. So I'll take myself for example. The best way that I find that you can be productive for the following day is to set yourself some form of schedule for the day. So if you do that day on day on day, that becomes your routine. Then that's how you become more productive. So win the morning, win the day. I really believe that. So last night, as I was getting ready to go to bed, I just wrote down with a time schedule at 7:30, I'm going to wake up and get in the sauna and I'm going to listen to this podcast. At 8:30, I'm going to do this, blah, 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 and wrote out the whole list up until 1:30 when I get to go to the gym. Woohoo! Oh, I'm so excited. But just by doing that, being that little bit more productive, it snowballs into, man, I'm crushing this morning, and you want to keep that momentum going. So then you want to train a little bit better, because then you feel a bit better, and it's like that upward spiral that we've talked about in previous episodes. It's just like snowballs into productivity and positivity, and then everything keeps going better, and then you want to keep your routine going better. And yeah, I personally work 100 times better if I have routine, and even that goes with work. So as much as I hate work and I don't ever want to work.
Oh really?
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, having a Monday to Friday structure of work, I eat way better because I meal prep. So that's like the whole discipline equals freedom. If you have the discipline to meal prep, then you have the freedom to not make any decisions on your food for the whole week. It's just done easy, and then you get the results of the dieting as well. Very nice. Very nice. But yeah, so like on a Monday to Friday schedule, I'll meal prep. So my food is way better. My training's consistent because I wake up at the same time and I train at the same time, and everything just has a little bit more of a consistency to it. Which, if I recall, was a number one thing in a previous episode.
Very previous. We've done a few since then.
Yeah, we have.
Wow.
We've almost broken into that top 1%.
We'd be close.
We'll let you know. We'll let you know when we're there.
We 100% will.
Stay tuned.
I do the same. I do weekly planning each week, usually on the Friday leading into the weekend and then leading into the next week. And I'll get everything planned out as best as I can. So look at my work schedule, training schedule, and I schedule my routines according to priority, which we've spoken about off air before. Sorry. So I'll go through things that can't be changed, like times that you're working, and then I'll go through things that I enjoy most, and I'll schedule all of that, and then things I need to do most. Usually, thankfully, the life that Hannah and I have set up, the things that I need to do most are also the things I enjoy the most. So yeah, that makes it easier. And then everything else fits around it. So it's like the analogy of the jar. 1 second.
Sort yourself out, man. You didn't mute that very well.
I didn't mute it at all. It usually works. Yeah, using the analogy of the jar, where like this teacher gets a bag of sand, fills up the jar, and then gets all these rocks, and it won't fit. And then he empties the jar, puts the rocks in first, the big things, and then pours the sand in, and the little things filter around, and everything fits into that jar. So if you're struggling with time, usually what people should do is schedule or prioritize the things that they need to do most, and then the other things will kind of fall into place. Doesn't mean they just do it easy. You still need to focus on getting it done. But
so just to add on to that analogy, the rocks in that analogy that go into the jar are the big important things, like your family and your health and those sorts of things. So if you fill your day and your week with the sand, the mundane, the pointless things, then you've got no time, no room for the big important things.
That was the most wholesome thing I've ever heard you say.
Yeah. And I'm done. That's me for the year. That's my quota.
You better settle down.
But yeah, that was the other part to that analogy, which is, cool. I like that one.
No. So I guess that's a good tool, weekly planning or daily planning. I also review, this is more of a psychology trick. I review my day the next day, and I usually set some goals for the next day, whether it's things I need to do within the routine or whether it's things I want to achieve for training or for work or more specific. And then because I'm consciously going over them, it'll let my subconscious kind of like mull it over or marinate it through the night. And then I wake up and I usually, you know how people have shower thoughts or they wake up and they've got things that have...
You have heaps of them, don't you?
Mate, I have like 3 showers a day, so...
I'm not thinking very clearly. I need to have another shower.
And so then, like, it just allows your subconscious to kind of be more involved. And when you start to learn how important the subconscious is, you actually realize that setting everything up so the conscious mind doesn't have to do anything, it's so much easier of a life.
Yeah.
The conscious mind it's really just about survival, right? It's like, everything's scary.
Yeah.
Overthink
Fight or
everything.
flight.
Yeah.
I saw along the internet as well, another one that was, it was on like Google Scholar.
PubMed.
Yeah, it was on the internet, and it was just talking about how to prioritize different things. So if you've got like a massive schedule or a massive list of things that you're trying to get through and struggling to prioritize them, one of the ways to do that was with the ABC method. So go through your whole list, and next to itemize all your things that you need to do. Write a list of, might be 25 different things, and next to each one that has to get done, put an A next to it. And if it would be good if it got done, but it's not 100% necessary, put a B next to it. And if it would be nice if it got done, but it doesn't actually need to get done, put a C next to it. And then create an A, B, and C list. And then through the A things, then you prioritize. So you write a little list of things that, say on that A list was, I need to, do something for your business or like at work. Then whatever that is, write down a list of tasks that you need to do to get that one done, and then do the ABC thing through that as well. Which ones need to get done in that list, which ones would be nice if they got done, or which ones should get done, and which ones would be nice to have done. ABC it again, and then that's just a way to prioritize the tasks that you've got to get done. So it makes your schedule a little bit more efficient, so you can be, boom, 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 boom.
Well, I think as well, people probably hear that and they're like, oh man, that's so much to do. But what you don't recognize consciously is that that's what your subconscious is doing already. But because sometimes we get distracted by phones or TV or epic podcasts, don't turn us off right now. Come on, keep playing.
You can
We've got a few
multitask.
minutes left. Yeah. You often miss the A's or even the B's, and often the C's are the ones that are easier to do, so you end up doing them.
Yeah.
It's like,
But
I
they're
should, this would be nice to do because it's not that important and it's easy.
It's that instant gratification again, like we talked about before. It's like,
Yeah.
get this done and I'll have, like, it's a win. I feel good, but it didn't really need to get done.
Yep.
Like watching Stranger Things on Netflix.
Is that what you've been binging?
Not me. I've been forced into it.
Oh.
I'll rub around. All right, I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
All right. Ev's getting thrown under the bus.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't say anyone. I didn't.
I've tried to watch that. I couldn't get into
Oh,
it.
Gary. Nah. Yeah. It was good. You should rewatch it if you got time. That's a C. That's a C list thing though. Just so we're clear on that one.
Is it?
Yeah. It'd be nice if it got done.
It'd be nice.
It
will be nice.
Yeah. Later tonight with some popcorn and Maltesers.
Oh, gee. Okay, no.
That's
Don't
not
worry.
me. I'm just eating the Maltesers.
Yeah. You can't combine them. That's weird.
Yeah. It's not as bad as you think.
No, I've tried it. It's weird.
You're weird, so
I'm fine with that. It's still weird.
Anyway. Off topic.
Well off topic. And if you guys, now I'm assuming most people that listen to this probably have some sort of routine. If you haven't consciously done it, maybe start to look at consciously doing it if you're struggling with anything, like if you feel like you're falling behind. Again, we can look at the seasons and everything like that, and this is a perfect time to kind of get on top of things because when...
Start it all.
Yeah, well, you'll have like work Christmas parties. If you go to the gym, they'll have a Christmas party most of the time. You're going to have family get-togethers. If you've got kids, school's going to be out in like, we've got one and a quarter terms left. Like I'm asking you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But all these things are starting to come to an end and everyone starts celebrating and everyone loses their routine. So if you can set it in stone now, don't be like,
I can't go to this Christmas party because...
yeah.
I mean that's what you do, but... But yeah.
But it's a great way to kind of set you up now because it's less pressure with things going on.
I would agree. I think the fine line to that is like you've still got to have fun. You've still got to like enjoy yourself and go celebrate things. But I think what people tend to do is they will write off an entire week because there's an event on Saturday night. Or they'll write off like the days leading into it and then the days after it. And it's like, that doesn't necessarily need to happen. That's a C list. That's a C item.
Tell me who's recently done that, KPow.
Hey, I haven't done nothing like that.
Whatever. I thought you had left the earth for the 3 days that you didn't respond.
That was just my soul.
No, you do need to have fun as well.
Yeah.
Unless you want to be like Kobe Bryant. Are you serious? I've brought him up a few times now and you still don't know.
I know who he is, but I don't know his ins and outs of his life.
Have you never... I'm going to buy you the book. You need to read his book.
Kobe. That's about it.
You don't even have to be a basketball fan to know how good he is. We'll go with is. Is.
Anyway.
All right.
I bet you he had a good routine.
I know he did. The fact that he would train so much, it was good. I think it also, just lastly, the last thing I wanted to touch on with it is, if you do write it out, I just use the calendar on the phone, and I flip it to the side so I can see the whole week and I can see everything. I used to use Excel, but I just found it easier on my phone to use now. Is that you can see how much time, not that you're wasting time, but how much time you have free to get things done that are a priority, that'll set you up for later. So you might be like, oh man, I thought I only had half an hour, but if I look at it, I've got a full hour here. I can squeeze half an hour out of that to get something done.
Yeah.
And even if it's a little thing, it's something that you're not carrying around in the back of the mind being like, oh, I forgot to do this. I really need to do this. You can just tick it off. You have a full view of your week and it's so much easier. And then you can plan time to be a kid.
This is where I've talked to you about this off air, and I've talked to a lot of other people about this one recently.
Oh,
that's where
here we go.
Rule number 1. This is my life rule number 1, and it's speed. And it allows you, if you can nail rule number 1, it allows you to time travel.
There it is.
You can time travel. So if you have 5 things to do and you procrastinate and be like, oh, I've got to send this email to this person about, I'll just make a coffee first. And then you make your coffee and you're sitting there and I'm scrolling through Instagram. You could have sent that email. You could have sent that email 6 times over in the time that it took you to make your coffee and sit down and scroll through Instagram. But you've still got an email to send. And then you've still got those other 4 things to do after that. Whereas if you're like, nah, let's do this. I've got 5 things to do and I'm going to get them done in the next 5 minutes. And you smash it out. With speed, then it allows you to have all that freedom now because you just got your tasks done. So then you can go be a kid, but you've got everything done because you used speed, not the drug. Let's just make that very clear.
Although I would assume that would make you extremely efficient.
Oh man, I'd be so productive.
Probably a bit
One more sleep
useless
till
in
Christmas. But yeah,
I think that might be a Stephen Covey thing, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I think it's that. It's like the 2-minute rule. If it takes less than 2 minutes do it straight away. I don't know if that's actually in that book or if it's Ben Bergeron.
I've heard that. But the only caveat that I would put to that is that don't put the C-list things in there with that. Because a lot of the C-list things you can get done really quick. So you'd still work to that structure of your A-list items, get them done. And especially if it's only going to take you 2 minutes to respond to that email or to call someone and get a phone number that you need or to confirm a booking or whatever it is, like get it done. But prioritize the A-list things first, because that's what I feel like a lot of people end up doing is they spinning their tires. They're doing a lot, but they're not getting anywhere.
Yep.
So it's, what was it? It's being busy, not productive, I think is the way of putting it. You're busy all the time. You're doing a lot of things, but it's not actually productive things.
Yep.
So that's when you get caught up doing all the C-list.
It's easy to fill your time with mundane things. This is cool. I enjoyed this.
Different twist on what we normally talk about. But that was
Look
good.
at us. Are we going to be life coaches?
I want to.
Do you?
I'll test on you and see how we go.
Definitely not. No.
Yeah. All right. We'll leave it there. Nice short episode today. As always, give us a like and a follow on either YouTube, Spotify, or if you find us on Instagram as well. Hit us up with any questions that you've got. Just a DM on any of those platforms or a comment. And we will see you next time.
Yeah, and hopefully by the time next time comes around, you've made a routine.
Yeah.
It will change your life.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We're gonna on Spotify, we're gonna leave you with a poll down the bottom. So just jump on board, and it's gonna pretty much, do you have a routine? Yes or no? And we want to find out how many of you actually have a good routine going.
That's a great one.
All right. Next time.